All right, so we just did our intro, and as you can see, Quin is out temporarily. He is on his way. He's just running a little bit late, so don't be alarmed when the dog barks when he shows up. So, all right. So, spoiler alert. We will get spoilery. We're going to, of course, talk about the full episode. If you haven't seen the episode, oh my gosh. Go back and watch it now. Do not get spoiled. It's a good one. So, Walking Dead news and TWDU news, I guess. Walking Dead, Michael Cutlet's directed this episode, and man, did he bring it. So, my rating for the episode, I'm just going to go ahead and say it because I'm super excited. I'm going to say 10 out of 10 glasses of water.
Glasses of water. That's a funny rating. Yeah, I would give it a 10 out of 10 too. It was a really good episode.
Yup.
And this was Michael Cutlet's third episode to direct this season.
I think so. Ghost, leave her alone. He likes to play rough with the cat. She plays rough just right back, but it can get loud.
I think it was 3, or is this the one? Mm-hmm. Oh, he directed 4 and 7, so this was 7.
Yep.
So this was his second episode to direct this season.
Yeah, and he directed one last season.
Yeah, so third total, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And he's directing some for the new series, so that's cool.
Very neat.
Yeah. All right, so we don't have Quin's silky voice here just yet. He is on his way. He's got some stuff going on, so he's just going to walk in and sit down, so yeah, whatever. All right, Season 10, Episode 6, entitled Open Your Eyes. And the description, Carol pushes back boundaries that make Daryl uncomfortable. Alpha and Beta have their reservations about someone. So, I guess we can go ahead and get in. I didn't even see Beta this episode.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
That was a major misdirect because they didn't even mention Sadiq in this episode.
Yeah.
Or Dante or any of that going on.
Yeah.
So major I keep wanting to say disconnect, but misdirection. Mm-hmm. So you got me, Angela Kang and team. You got me. I was not expecting the twist at the end of this episode, and there were theories out there, and people were saying it, and I was like, no. I was wrong.
So much so that when Sadiq was dying, he was like, "That's a sleeper hold. That's not going to kill him."
Yeah,
I was
that's
like,
a sleeper hold.
He's dead. What do you mean he's not going to die? He is dead.
I was like
he has passed on.
I was watching for him to blink when he fell, but his eyes were like, ah.
Yeah, no, he was definitely dead.
And on the Talking Dead, they confirmed he's dead and gone.
He was in the in memorandum.
And Carl Chandler Riggs was on the Talking Dead. So
yeah.
Heartbreaking. In the memorandum or memoriam, they were like the end of it. They were like, "Dear Coco, we'll tell you all about your father, how strong he was, how smart he was, how brave he was." Oh my gosh.
That's sad.
So sad to see Sadiq go out like that. Such a strong character.
But also kind of very interesting because it brought back the whole suspense of, the whispers feel like a threat again. Yes. They have someone inside, a doctor that everyone trusts.
Mm-hmm. However, in the teaser for the next episode, they did show Dante in jail, so he must have got busted.
Probably pretty quickly with Sadiq's dead body lying on the floor.
Yeah.
I mean, what are they gonna do? Not think it was Dante?
For real.
I don't know. It's still pretty exciting that like the whispers, are still a big threat. We haven't really felt like they were a threat, but they are.
They are.
Yeah. And I did not get that until this episode that Dante was the walker that made Sadiq look. It kind of made it feel like the one that they captured was the one. Hey, Quin, that was really quiet.
Hey.
I'm really
Wow,
glad you
didn't
aren't
even
a
hear him
robber.
come in the front door.
Because
lock
we
that
would have
door,
been
right?
robbed.
Thanks. Hey, everybody, welcome Quin.
Hey, everybody.
We had another sound issue.
Oh.
We didn't start over there. We just kept going.
It was like
But we
5
fixed it.
minutes.
Cool.
Yeah, so we were just kind of chatting a little bit about stuff. What is your rating for this episode?
10. Just a
We all
solid.
rated
yeah.
it a 10.
3.10 out of 10.
It's okay.
Man.
At least he didn't bark this time.
Because this
All right.
was, out of all the episodes this season, it's the first episode, like, right off the bat. I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to watch this. Because when, like, the beginning, and I was like, no. I don't know what this is. But,
9 minutes. Woo.
It was creepy.
I love that. They just leaned into the horror thing, like his face. Oh, man. Sadiq the Freak had a reason for being a freak.
Sadiq the
We've been
Freak.
calling him Sadiq the Freak because he
Had
was freak
is,
out.
like, super, had.
Yeah.
Man.
Ooh, man.
Well, now he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in denial. I was like, nope, that's a sleeper hold. Until they
begs in-
confirmed it. on
Which
the
begs into
Talking
question,
Dead.
is Rosita going to die? Or is it just going to be Sadiq?
It might be both.
I don't know.
I mean,
Coco's going to be an orphan like all the other kids on this show?
I mean, they got Eugene up here taking real good care of the
Eugene and
baby.
Gabriel have to raise the baby together.
My
men
two
and a
dads.
baby.
Well, it's 3 men and a baby now because it's not 4 anymore.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Who was the fourth?
Well, you had Sadiq. you had
Gabriel and
Gabriel
Eugene.
and Eugene. Oh.
It was always 3 men and a
It's
baby.
always
Now
3
it's
men.
Was it?
But Rosita was the
Oh,
sinner,
yeah.
so there were 4. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I get it.
Okay, my bad.
It's cool. But yeah.
outside of Sadiq. What's next?
All right, so we see Garrett. I took notes, so I'm trying to pattern after Yvette Nicole Brown. But it's just really just so I can remember what happened. So yeah, Daryl and Carol bring in the Whisperer captor, and immediately Gabriel's back, apparently.
He was taking a nap.
Yeah, yeah. Last episode he was still gone.
Yeah.
Apparently Aaron was still like, how many days has it been? And he's just like, I don't know.
Well, I think he's going back and forth.
But he didn't know anything. He didn't say anything about the water.
Well,
Like,
it
he
doesn't
saw
seem like the
her.
water is related to that. Like it led to that, but they
Yeah.
knew they weren't drinking from it originally. That's why it's called undrinkable.
Yeah.
But
And
Dante turned it on and made Sadiq crazy, thinking that
Yeah.
he left it on.
Yeah. And why? What lever has that option? Like, why would you even? I mean, it's found objects, but I mean, why would you not lock that down? It's like, I mean, that's drinkable and undrinkable. I mean,
Maybe they use it to like
Kinda
water the
important.
fields and stuff. Just because it's not filtered, it's still water.
no, I mean, they could turn it to either one, but for whatever reason, the lever just like would flip, and they couldn't tell which was which. Because remember, he was looking at it, and he just flipped it, and then he turned it, and he's like, oh. He thought maybe in one of his episodes or something he
He might
didn't
have
know.
did wrong or messed it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. So all of that with like him finding himself on top of the
Windmill.
windmill with Coco and everything, like, whoop, that's over.
Yeah.
Like that was, I mean, man,
It.
I would have
don't
liked
know.
to see more to that.
This episode, we're like firmly in discussion, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I mean, this episode had like a lot of everything. Like this is the end of the Sadiq storyline,
Yeah.
for sure. But it's the
Closes out Carl's legacy almost.
But at the same time, it's like, well, it's a good jumping point. It's like, well, now the old is completely gone, just about, and we're on to these new things with the people that we have left. Ghost is smelling my foot. And I feel like, so obviously Dante, it's gonna segue really well. Obviously, like, Dante didn't know that Alpha said to everybody else that she killed Lydia. because he knows Lydia's alive and it's like, oh, no, Lydia's here. I'll just keep an eye on her, mess with Sadiq a little bit, do that mess. And but with that, Alpha's plan from like episode plan the things she told everyone like episodes back that Lydia's dead and that Gamma's been kind of going back and forth is finally like starting to come to fruition, and we're starting to see it mold a little bit more. And then with Negan in their camp, it's just gonna be, I think Gamma's gonna be the reason Alpha dies though.
They're like all big into espionage right now because Negan, well, they don't even know, like Negan's like a double agent for himself, I guess, and they don't even know that he's playing them. We hope, because I mean that was a huge twist with Dante. Yeah. Especially remix of his character, so they might be remixing all kinds of stuff.
But Dante was a very crappy reporter or like informant, because whoever he was talking to in the Whispers, he should have been like, "Oh yeah, Lydia's still doing normal. She's still good." Unless he was talking directly to Alpha. You know, whoever he was informing on the information inside of Alexandria, they would have been like, "Lydia, what are you talking about?"
Yeah, exactly. That could be a plot hole because he doesn't seem to be fazed by the fact that Lydia is still alive.
We also haven't, there's been no meetups, no nothing that looks fishy.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we just don't see.
Planet Earth said, I feel like Dante poisoned the water just like he poisoned the Whisperer with the hemlock and then throwing shade on Sadiq.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I think Dante purposefully switched it. And then when Sadiq was, like, that's why I felt like it went like that.
Yeah.
To be able to be confused for turned off.
Yeah, and he totally took advantage of Sadiq having PTSD and struggling and getting him out of the way so that he could be the main doctor and poisoning people and making people sick and stuff, totally knowing what was going on.
3 things about Dante. Everything he said up until now just got 1,000 times more creepier.
Yeah. It's weird.
Other thing, I still feel like Sadiq was like a little brainwashed, but not in the way that I was thinking. Not that he was a double agent, just that he was brainwashed to be thrown off of his game. And like Alpha was playing the long game by leaving him alive, not to tell the story, but so they don't have an actual doctor that's on their side anymore. Because Enid's dead, Sadiq's now dead, and you just got Whisperer Dante.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, man, just the whole thing with Dante is kind of confusing. Like, I mean, obviously he was off. There was something off about him, and everybody commented on how weird he was and stuff like that. I thought he was just a weird guy. You know, I mean, I know people like that are weird, and you try to have a conversation with them, and they just like say random stuff, or they say the awkward thing or whatever. And I've been that person too. You know, I think we've all been that person at one point. We're just like, why did I say that? But but at the very end, where he's like, not you. You're my friend. Like, something weird is going on. Like, he wasn't affected by knowing that Lydia was alive or didn't know or whatever. And like you said, if he's reporting to somebody, and you would think that he would be reporting to Alpha who is, or how Lydia is doing. So either he's reporting to Beta or Alpha, somewhere in there directly, possibly.
I think he probably got attached too as well. That's the only other thing.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, the whole thrust of this episode with the captor was that Lydia was like, "Hey, it's an idea. You could upset Alpha's hold on these people by showing them that society can thrive and be a thing or whatever." But I mean, it seemed like Dante was kind of like maybe getting a little Stockholm syndrome, or breaking his Stockholm syndrome from Alpha, but he's still like full on like killed Sadiq instead of just being like, I screwed up. Like,
it didn't even seem to propel the plot other than revealing what Dante was, because like all Dante had to do was not go in there. Sadiq like had no clue up until he went in there and started clicking in his ear. It's like all Dante had to do was stop. It was almost like Dante wanted him to find out.
Yeah, I think so too, because I mean, and just the fact that he was the one that held Sadiq in the barn, like that's crazy. That's a crazy twist. But
And it's messed up. It just shows how messed up Dante's psyche is to think that like I'm manipulating this person to be my friend day after day, saying weird things about his lips, and then using what I said when he watched all of his friends get murdered. I say the exact opposite when I kill him. You know, like close your eyes instead of open your eyes.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. Like, I mean, not to get too personal, but I've been a victim of like intense manipulation, not to the point of death or anything like that, obviously, because I'm still here, but to the point where you all the red flags that you have, you trust that person so much that you bypass that, and you get so messed up in the head, and you start seeing everybody, if they don't check out with the person that you idolize or the person that's manipulating you, then they don't matter. You know what I mean? And it's a slow process to break that. And I kind of understand with what Lydia was talking about, how, you know, that they're going to be loyal no matter what. And I mean, it's very, very cultish, very cultish. And for Dante to be in it, like, I get it, to be in it and still, you know, even though he's seeing day to day that society's working, it's not like Alpha told me, that he's still like so freaking loyal. Like, he was there with her, and he killed all those people, and he's not having a lick of guilt or anything like that. He's just living his life, and woo, yeah, here I am.
I think he wanted Sadiq to find out, but he didn't want Sadiq to come after him. Like, that's probably what he did, is like, he did it so Sadiq was like, oh, it's you. And then like they talk about it, but then Sadiq was like, I gotta kill you. And he's like, I can't let you, because if you kill me, then there goes everything. So he had to take him out.
Yeah, I almost thought that, like, I was hoping that it was just the sleeper hold, and it was enough to let, like, him confront him and let him know, hey, I've grown fond of you, and I want you to know it was me. Now, you're attacking me. I know that you want to kill me. I'm going to knock you out, and I'm going to leave. You know what I mean? Like, I almost felt like that would have made more sense as far as, like, how, you know, and then maybe later Dante, you know, come over or whatever, but like him realizing that he's getting too close and he's got to get out or something. But I mean, according to the teaser for next episode, Dante's straight up in jail. And they know.
They know?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It also makes me wonder if Cheryl actually died. We never actually see her die, turn, or her actual body. We see what looks like a body wrapped in blankets, but what if she turned and Dante snuck her out to be another guardian, and we see her later and we're like, that's Cheryl.
Maybe. I mean, like, there.
That would be a nice detail. I would like to see how far his twisted manipulation was going, if it was actually that far, or if they even thought about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which it's probably not.
Yeah. Planet Earth said, so sad that Sadiq didn't die in the barn, but was traumatized and then to be eventually killed by Alpha's assassin. Absolutely. So sad to see him go out like that. And just like, you know, knowing, like, in the last moment, it was just like a Game of Thrones moment. It was like, I want you to know it was me.
And did Sadiq ever tell anyone else that it was the water? I don't know. It might have died with him, and Dante's going to continue to poison everybody.
Well, Sadiq, yeah, that's possible. I mean, there's so many, like, when you break it, like, on the surface, it was an excellent episode, but now that we're talking about it and we're breaking down, like, okay, well, what about this with Dante? What about that with Dante? Like, some of it's just not adding up, you know?
Yeah.
Because, like, the teaser for next episode, he's just like, he's telling Gabriel or whoever's got him in jail, and he's like, hey, you guys are living a lie. You know, you're lying to each other, you know, basically repeating the same thing that the other whisperers said about, you know, you lying to each other and all that kind of stuff. And, but yeah, I mean, like, it legitimately shook Gamma to her core, where she was just out crying in the woods, you know, to learn that Lydia was still alive. and that she killed her sister, and
For
Alva's been
nothing.
lying, you know, yeah. And so, I mean, so much so that as far as we know, even the loyal ones that watch the Guardians, like the captor they had, they don't have a name, but Gamma had a name. So, I mean, I don't know. That speaks to me about how in they are with the cult. You know what I mean? It's like the other guy. I mean, he had a moment of weakness. Dante straight up killed him, fed him hemlock. You know, removed him from the situation.
All for nothing.
Yeah,
because now he's captured.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. What you're talking about with Cheryl and him slowly poisoning everybody. If he got to the point where he figured out that his cover was blown, like, why couldn't he have just let Cheryl turn and then just, oh, I wasn't there, oh my gosh, you know what happened?
Now everybody's dead.
Yeah, there's so many
now there's chaos within the walls of Alexandria.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, maybe just because we've seen that before as a story, but
there's got to be something next episode that really propels Dante's story for them to even validate the reason that he's in prison.
Yeah.
Sadiq had to have told Gabriel or Rosita or somebody.
Yeah. Even though, like, I don't know. I mean, the moments during this episode, like between, of course, Sadiq and Dante, but Sadiq and Rosita, and even like the whole Aaron Gamma thing, and then the Carol Lydia Aaron Gamma thing, like they're really strong elements, but I don't know. I'm starting to feel. I mean, they covered it. They covered their tracks really well, but I'm starting to see the tracks. You know what I mean? Like, you can't go from, and that was the problem that The Walking Dead had before, was that it would go from event to event, and you didn't get to see how it got there, and it didn't just make sense. It was just, you know, it just would happening to the characters rather than character building.
Here's a thought from The Walking Dead. What if Dante wasn't really Dante? What if Dante wasn't really Dante? I keep saying Dante twice. What if Dante wasn't the actual Dante?
Two-Face, she's trying to climb the thing over there.
What if he was just close enough of a lookalike to be a spy?
I don't know. I mean, I don't understand the whole. I don't understand how Dante's not Dante, because he could have just said any name. I mean, you mean he's not Dante from the comics?
Or he's just not.
Or I mean, either way, if he's just a random and he says his name. Sorry, the cat is trying to climb stuff. Y'all go ahead. I'm going to get the cat.
Okay. What if it really wasn't really Dante?
Because, I mean, we never, besides him coming in now, he hasn't been in like any of the past seasons or anywhere else. He just kind of showed up. I mean, we don't know if he was in any other community as far as him being Kingdom or at Hilltop within the past. So he had to showed up between one of the time skips. But what if he was just like a super long, deep con the whole time? Yeah.
Yeah, that's like, I was thinking about that. Like, when did he show up? But I want to say that he was he had to have been there since the beginning of the Whisper conflict, because he's been reporting when they cross the borders, and apparently he's the one that's been telling them. So he's been there since last season, even though we didn't see him. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
unless there's more.
Yeah, unless there's more. Like, but they've kind of glossed over the fact, like, how he got there or where he came from. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I mean, I would love to see a backstory, like how he got brought in. Here. Yeah. Did he just show up and be like, "Hey, I'm from Hilltop," and they go, "Oh, okay," or something? Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, he was saying, like, what if the water being messed with wasn't really Dante?
Oh. Okay.
What if it really was Crazy Sadiq or something else? I don't know. It seems like most of the easiest answer, I guess, is Dante. But it doesn't seem like Sadiq, it has to align at this point.
Yeah, either way, I think it's almost irrelevant. I mean, it would be nice to know, but I mean, because Sadiq sure thought it was him. It could have very well been Sadiq in his moment of, or just in his lack of sleep and not realizing that he swapped it or whatever.
Yeah.
Could have very well been Dante, though. It seems like it would have been Dante. It seems like he's been sowing discord and all kinds of stuff. Like Planet Earth even mentioned that it could have been him, possibly, wondering who was also writing Silence and Whispers, that he's planting all this stuff going on within the community.
Well, I thought that was meant to be the kids that got in the fight with Negan and
Yeah, but I mean,
Lydia
who's to
and
say
stuff.
that he wasn't like on the side with them, be like, "Hey, man, you know, this is really going on. This is crazy."
That's true.
Yeah.
You never can tell.
Yeah.
I think until like we actually see those things play out, it'll be hard to assume with any type of concrete evidence who anybody is or what they're doing. I thought that it was weird that Lydia was talking with Carol and was like, yeah, show these people what this place is, and that's kind of how you'll get under their skin. But then when Carol used her and was trying to show the Whisperers that Lydia was alive, she got so upset. And she couldn't just say, like, yeah, that was kind of a good idea, Carol. Like, I'm not lying.
Yeah, even
Because
when she even brought her down to the prison, right?
Yeah.
And she was going to go down there. So and Carol even said, "Let her decide." So I mean, we're left to assume that Lydia decided to go down to the prison cell and expose that. So why would she have a problem with Carol doing the same thing on a grander scale?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The Squawking Dead said the graffiti always thought it was Carol because she's unstoppable, using Negan as a distraction, freaking everyone out. So that would be super crazy if it was Carol. I would be really upset if it was Carol.
Yeah, I don't know why Carol would do that. Especially, I mean, I don't know. I mean, because, like, well, when
Because she wants war.
when it first happened, it seemed like Carol could really have an issue with Lydia, obviously, because she showed up, Henry, and all that kind of stuff. But last season, she seemed to have resolved that when she kept Lydia from killing herself.
But I think what they did with Carol and Lydia, beside words. So with Carol and Lydia, it
was
was
definitely diabolical.
Yeah. With Lydia choosing to go, it was Lydia's choice. But this time, she didn't have a choice. Carol just like, hey, you still want to help? Yeah, let's go. And she didn't, like, explain that.
Yeah, but
you know,
I mean, like, right after she asked, like, you still want to help? I mean, it seems like that's, like, almost the same conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
I mean, I could see her getting upset, but to that extent where she's just like, you're just like my mom. It's like, well, we just had this conversation.
Yeah, like they did it just for, I feel like they did it just for that line to set it up, because here soon it's Carol and Alpha face to face.
Yeah, even though when Carol did, when Daryl went and got Lydia out of the cell and Carol said, you can stay with me, I automatically was like, oh, she's not just being a good person. Like, she's keeping this in her back pocket.
Planet Earth said, Lydia's such a teenager. Dang teenage brain. Damn teenage brain is what he said. And for like half a second, I was like, oh, that's kind of rude. My feelings are a little hurt. And I was like, oh, not me. If you are, thanks, though. I mean, I don't mind.
The other Lydia.
Yeah. And I think that that's a good point, is that, like, she's irrational. Like, she's just, she was with a group that is a cult. She wholeheartedly believed everything her mother told her until she fell in love with this kid, moved off with him to forget her old past, and then he died.
Yeah.
Tragically by the hands of her mother.
Yeah. And
like, I mean, like, she's
and everything
super unreliable.
And everything that just happened with her almost getting killed by the folks that she just moved in. And she just told Carol, she was like, I'm home here. Like, I hate the Whisperers, you know, which makes sense why she wouldn't go back to the Whisperers. She's doing her own thing. But
I mean, I would be upset if she went back to the Whisperers, but I don't know why she just wouldn't go to one of the other communities.
Yeah.
Like, because, well, I mean, it's probably the same thing.
Yeah, she wouldn't want to. Well,
Daryl's gonna be pissed.
She was at Hilltop when this happened, right?
Yeah.
So she wouldn't go there.
But I mean, she could go to Oceanside where Michonne and Judith's probably still are that we haven't seen in 5
We
episodes.
also know Oceanside just kind of takes care of their enemies real swift like.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
And there's no kingdom anymore. So,
Yeah.
and the majority of people from Kingdom are in Hilltop. So, yeah, Lydia, that's the only place Lydia can be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like Daryl is going to be really mad at Carol, and that Carol needed a hit to the shoulder with a
She
Henry
deserved
type thing. Like, come on, Carol. After all the times you've done the exact same thing where it never ended right, did you really think things were different this time? Like, your heavy-handed ways of deciding for everyone is so wrong and messed up. And you are like Alpha in that way. We've made the point
that's
multiple
true. That's
times
true.
that Carol is one bad day away from Alpha. And so somebody needed to hit her with the facts. And I'm glad that it was Lydia. I hope that Carol will listen. It looked like from the tear kind of going down her face that maybe she did hear it and actually like absorb that information. But I guess we'll see based on her future actions.
Yeah. And then there was just like a brief cut scene of her like riding a horse. I don't know if that was just to show that she had left the bridge or I don't know.
That she didn't go after Lydia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Then she wrapped
Interesting.
Aaron and all that.
Yeah, Aaron's just like, you kind of killing my vibe over here, Carol. Like, I don't know what you're trying to do, but now Gamma ain't gonna come talk to me, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck? This whole Aaron thing is super weird.
Yeah. Breaking bread with Aaron.
And,
Kid on her cookbook.
Oh my gosh. Daryl's
Daryl-
already disappointed in Daryl. Moody Daryl is moody.
Yeah.
I love that
Only-
because the scene with Dog was so weird. Like, he didn't take... Let's talk about for a second. That's not what happened. But he didn't take off his vest first. He took it off like it was the shirt. Like, all in one swipe. Like, nobody takes a jacket off with their shirt at the same time and leaves the shirt inside the vest.
Well, I feel like anytime I watch a movie and somebody has a button up and they take it off like a regular shirt, I was like, that's not normal. I feel like that's the same thing. Like, if you do that, that's weird. I'm sorry.
And then the double acorn thing is just like, does Daryl really believe that Carol's not going to do some stupid stuff? And then why did Carol tell Lydia, come on, you can stay with me? But that's Daryl's house too, where Lydia was living.
yeah.
That
doesn't make any sense.
That's true. Carol's just taking over.
Yeah,
Like-
if Daryl lived in the bottom and he's growing weed in the kitchen, and that's where Lydia lived already, and then she put herself in the jail, like none of
That's
that
true.
adds up.
Because she was living with Daryl.
Yeah. Or you can come
What
stay with
the
me.
heck?
It's like, that was my house, Carol. I'm going to just move back into my house. You
yeah.
can stay with me, Carol.
Like, what did she take Lydia's room over and was like, oh yeah, we'll share. Let's be roommates. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Planet Earth said Daryl was so awkward.
Yeah, it was like he didn't
Yeah.
want dog breathing in his face. But it was like, dude, you called the dog up there. What do you think he was going to do? He eats zombies. He's not going to have good breath. Come on.
Ugh, you got dead breath.
Literally, you going to kill me with your breath.
Yeah, I don't know. This whole
Truth.
Yeah. See, Daryl should have been watching Carol a lot closer.
I don't think he wants to. I think he's done. Like, he knows Carol's going to do the same stupid stuff over and over again. That's why he kept looking at the acorns like, really, do I really have to keep this game up? Like, I'm tired, man.
Yeah,
I haven't
maybe he
slept.
just
I didn't
checked
even
out.
wash the blood off me, but somehow magically it's not there anymore. I'm Gucci. I'm going to sit on the couch with my dog, and I'm going to stare
some
at
dog
these
therapy.
awkward
With
acorns.
my vase that has my arrow bouquet in it.
Thank you. I was like, it's not even full. You could have at least made it full and make them all stand up straight.
We don't care about that.
Maybe that's meant to like signify that he doesn't have a whole lot of them left. I don't know. Carol and her whole longbow across her back. I thought Lydia was wearing it, and I was just like, why is Lydia wearing Carol's bow? It was so weird.
Swalking Dead said because Carol literally pseudo kidnapped Lydia. I don't know because did she
Yeah,
Like,
she
Yeah.
asked her. She told her she was going
She
to help
asked her if she wanted to go. You want to help? I mean,
but she
went
didn't
with
tell her what she was
willingly.
going for.
Yeah.
If I tell you, oh, you want to, it's like taking the dog to the vet. Come on, dog, let's go.
Well, hold
let's
on,
go to the
hold
park.
on, hold on.
And then really you're going to get him fixed.
All right, hold on. So they approach Aaron, not knowing Gamma is there.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
Carol walks up. Who walks up on her own? Lydia.
Yeah, because
So Carol
Because
did
Gamma
not plan
had
that interaction.
because
That is not
Aaron-
on Carol.
where did you think she
Gamma
was
had
going
a
to take
knife
her?
to Aaron's neck.
She
Did
do
Carol
that.
say, "Hey, Lydia, come show yourself"? No, she did not. Lydia did that on her own accord.
Why did she take her to the border then? When
Who knows?
Lydia
Lydia
knows.
decided to go with her, and maybe on the way, maybe when they got there,
No,
they were going to talk about a
Lydia
plan.
knows how Alpha thinks. And she
Yes.
knows that Carol is just like Alpha. So as soon as she
Then why
sees
would she go?
Gamma's face and she sees the reaction that
Mm-hmm.
they didn't think she was alive, she's like, why'd you bring me here, Carol? I know that's why you brought me here. And that's wrong. You should have just told me that's what I was coming
But she's
for.
acting like it was thrust on her, like she didn't have a choice. She stepped out of the shadows on purpose. She chose to reveal herself to Gamma.
She
say
didn't
that.
know
but-
Gamma was there.
Exactly. Carol didn't know either. For instance, let's say, oh, we'll talk when we get there, potentially.
But she didn't say it though.
She said,
But Lydia
"You
still
wanted
went
my
not
help."
knowing. She chose to go not knowing.
I'll say it.
I think you're.
I think Lydia's
think you're-
being irrational. Not
She's a
the-
teenager.
Well,
Planet
yeah, but I
Planet
don't
Earth.
think it's on Carol. Yes, Carol has absolutely done some shady stuff, but I don't think this is one of them.
I think you're wrong.
I don't think this is as shady. I think Lydia knew full well going down into the prison that what it was about, and then to turn around. Do you still want to help? Yes. That to me sounds like an understanding of what we're going to do. Let's ride out. Where are we going?
No, because Carol very obviously never did talk to her because Lydia is like, do they not know I'm alive?
Apparently not, because what did Carol say when she went to go get Lydia? Let's let her decide.
But she very obviously didn't ever talk to her. She probably just said like, hey, you think you could talk some sense into this dude? Carol's a lying manipulator. We don't know
Yeah,
what she
but-
said to her.
Exactly, but we don't know that she didn't either.
By her reaction, we know that she didn't.
I don't know, because do you honestly think they made, like, okay, Carol, Daryl, and Gabe were all there. Do you think they're just going to trust Carol to go up and talk to her alone? And then they come out and like they're not going to make sure that that's what was said and that Lydia understands what's going on, especially Gabe.
I think Gabe's too worried about the dude dying down there.
Yeah, he's probably worried about him.
It didn't seem like any of it was very cohesive and very well thought out.
Just
Because
saying.
it seems like
I
it was
think you're
just
wrong.
a crapshoot plan. See how it goes.
Yeah.
See, Carol Squawking Dead. Well, Planet Earth says it possibly looks like Aaron and Carol maybe even planned it. If Aaron's going back and forth, I don't know.
I mean, that's why I feel like he's telling people that he's going to the border every day and meeting with Gamma.
Yeah, and you don't know about people
But
getting
it
sick
didn't
or
seem
whatever.
like he was planning on meeting her originally. It seemed like he's just like guarding it.
Yeah, and that's another plot hole right there. Is why, if the water wasn't being poisoned, if it turned out the water wasn't being poisoned by the stream that she was gutting the walkers into, then why? What was that scene even for? Like, why was she doing that? Because Alpha even mentioned the stream was one of their plots.
That's what I was saying earlier. Is I think that when Eugene and Sadiq built it, they thought of that possibility, and so that is part of the undrinkable water. And so when she's poisoning the water, Dante knows that it's in the undrinkable, and that's why he turns it off in that weird way, so that Sadiq can't tell.
I don't know. That seems
that
like
it's exactly done.
That seems like reaching.
But it would be great if they thought that through enough,
Yeah, but they probably didn't.
which is disappointing.
Yeah.
I don't know. There just
don't
was
know.
a lot in this episode. I mean, Sadiq and Rosita's interactions
Yeah.
were.
Yeah. Oh, before we move on from the Carol thing, Squawking Dead said Carol should have known better. Being a battered housewife, Lydia thought, after all the abuse she'd received, that Carol wouldn't manipulate Lydia and put her in harm's way. Diabolical.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's why Lydia was mad. Because there was that possibility that she could have been killed. Like last time, her and her mother had an interaction. Like her mother basically said, you're dead to me. I disown you. Like that's it. And Lydia thinks if she meets a whisperer outside in the outside, her mom might have given them orders to gut her.
But why did she go if knowing that, why did she even go in the first place?
Because she's a trusting teenager and Carol is motherly. Carol
She
has
asked her, are
manipulated
you still
every
wanting to
person.
help? Where did she think they were going? To Hilltop?
That could mean literally
Yeah.
anything.
After she just saw they knew, she went down to the prison knowing that there was a whisperer down there. That's why she had to leave the prison in the first place. Because she knows what was going on.
But Carol could have literally been asking her to help pick more berries for medicine. You don't know.
I doubt
She's
that.
a kid. A kid that's
Yeah,
grown up in the
but she's
apocalypse with a
smart.
cult mom.
Yeah, I get that. On the surface, that whole thing makes sense. But when you think about it, like, okay, well, she knew. Like that, to me, that doesn't add up.
He said she was told, I think he meant by Carol, that they were going hunting, literally.
I didn't hear the hunting thing. I heard, do you still want to help? And then they were on horseback.
I don't even remember that part.
I might be wrong, but
I don't even remember that part.
She said you still want to help, and then they got on the horseback.
I don't know.
That was at least the phrasing that was used in the teaser from last week. So they might have changed it up, and I'm just thinking that, but I'll go back and watch it. Thanks for pointing that out, Squawking Dead. That's something that I'm going to have to look into for sure.
But the way that Aaron said Lydia, it appears that they were ganging up on her.
Huh.
I don't know. I feel like there was a lot. I mean, you got 3 pages worth of notes, and we've only talked about like 2 things.
Yeah. Well, it's connected. The whole Whisperer, Dante, Lydia thing.
Rosita and Sadiq was weird.
Oh, so
That was
weird.
really
Yeah, it's
weird.
like she was like literally like potentially on her deathbed, and it's like she's just going, oh, I heard what happened. Let's go swimming. She can pull him out of the water.
Not only that, he's talking about whenever she was like, Gabe doesn't have a jealous bone in his body.
Yeah.
Climb on in bed with
Oh
me.
yeah, that part was weird. I thought you were
disgusting.
talking about on the water side.
That's
no.
still not even
By the
right
water.
in the apocalypse. It's not right under
No,
any
no, no.
circumstances. Like what? Come
not
on.
at all.
That was
And then she was like this close to letting Sadiq kiss her.
Yeah, and she had to cough. Yeah, that was weird.
Yep.
But
See
it was
Michonne
just
this
another
episode
like,
as well.
okay, let's get
Again.
close to Sadiq. Well, no.
Yeah,
Didn't see
exactly.
Didn't see Michonne this episode.
Yep.
Yep.
Thought we were when they started showing the road with Carol and Lydia on the road.
Yeah, I definitely thought that was Michonne and Judith.
Yeah. But I mean, it's we know she's leaving, but now it's starting to be noticed that she's not here.
I don't know. Alpha whipping Gamma with the switch was
Yeah.
rough to watch. I covered my eyes.
Those were some deep lashes.
Yeah, they were like her
Oh my
skin was
gosh,
like.
that scene, like I almost had flashbacks of being manipulated and stuff like that. Not the whipping, obviously, but just that type of just like back and forth, like so pushing you around. It's like you shouldn't have done that, but you're my best.
Yeah.
It's like build you up, tear you down, build you up, tear you down, so that you don't your head's spinning. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But that's probably why Gamma was equally like just kind of shot when she saw Lydia. It's like, I literally sacrificed my sister for you. I thought I was doing bad. I let you lash me to help me like refocus myself.
Yeah, I pulled a knife on Aaron.
Yeah, and you've been lying to literally all of us. So, okay, time to make some life choices here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like how Aaron is playing his cards though when it comes to talking with Gamma, because he has very obviously not told her that this is not his biological child, which like I know that Aaron
Right.
views her as daughter, and that's great, but she's in reality not his biological child, and he's omitting that part that he had relations with someone that produced a baby. He's not acting very gay. in my opinion. He kind of almost is like
leading her on.
like leading her on a little bit, which is Aaron's own form of manipulation of like,
Yeah.
look what you can have. You
Yeah.
can have a relationship
That's
and
true.
a daughter.
And
I haven't told you that my spouse is dead and that this isn't really my child. I mean, I very obviously have a metal arm, which is weird in its own way, but like,
Yeah,
no
and
one
that leans
he's
into the
not
dark
saying it.
side of Aaron with
Yeah.
and like the first scene with him and Gamma, we were just like, okay, well this is weird. He's being kind Aaron again, but there's still some darkness underneath.
Yeah, and he knew exactly what he was doing with for a second that time I thought he was talking about the other Lydia in the show. I keep getting so confused.
Nice observation, Lydia.
Well, I thought he was talking to her. Thank you. But I forgot my train of thought. Whenever Aaron is talking to Gamma about the bikes and all of those things, like Aaron is doing exactly what Lydia said and like, hey, look at this life that we have.
Yeah.
You think I just so happened to bring this beautiful drawing that my daughter, like, she has crayons, she has paper, she has bikes. Like, this is a world Gamma really can't imagine to live in. And she is the Gamma.
Oh yeah, he's playing.
He knows her name. He called her Gamma. He is playing her like a fiddle.
Yeah,
and I
absolutely.
like it.
Yeah, and I mean that goes to like what I've been saying for weeks is like Aaron. There's so much backstory with Aaron. Like he's such, like there's so much untapped potential about like what Aaron is capable of.
Yeah.
You know, like he helped start Alexandria. He was one of the people that went out and got people and vetted them for them. So, I mean, he knows people. He's a good people reader. Like, immediately when she was talking about, oh, yeah, we used to ride our bikes, and he was like, brother or sister. Like he read into that quick.
Squawking Dead said, I thought the bread thing every day alone was something. And it absolutely was. She's just like, she's over here eating leaves off of a twig, which was so... It was foreshadowing in a way of like, that is the same type of leaf. Once all the leaves are gone, she probably got whipped with the same type of thing, you know? And like the very thing that she is believing in is what hurts her. And like, she's eating leaves. Like that dude in the prison was like, I want everything. I'm Michael Scott. Can I have everything on my pretzel? Like, it was ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome symbolism where you're talking about the very, like what she's eating herself was the very thing that was hurting her. That's really good.
Well, that's a long one.
Oh, you got it, or you want me to read?
Planet Earth says, always knowing that the walkers smell blood is like she's basically made Gamma more vulnerable. And Alpha watched as she was being attacked by the walker.
Yeah, and that kind of didn't make sense to me. Is like because she did get attacked before she got whipped. So like she killed the walker, and that's when Alpha was like, "Oh, you killed one could have been one more of our guardians or whatever." But why she's in the whisperer thing? She wasn't being loud. She was just there. Why would she get attacked? Other than just a story point to show that she was vulnerable.
I think it was a story point.
Testing her conviction. I feel like, and then Alpha probably also know she might have somebody watching Gamma, like, and she knows Gamma's talking to Aaron, and she's like, well, maybe you keep talking to him.
Alpha's a lot more diabolical and twisted than she let on, or even the Walking Dead let on.
Yeah.
You know,
I felt like that scene with Gamma around the tree was very similar to how they were shooting the scenes with Sadiq when he saw her in the window, and they kind of go back. Like, I almost wasn't sure if Alpha was actually there for a second, because it felt so similar to it. She doesn't have a mask on.
Yeah,
she doesn't
they would
remove a
never
mask
know.
or anything like that. You know,
they would never know.
Yeah.
I mean, Sadiq is the only one that's seen her, so
yeah. So
they would never.
know.
And Lydia, obviously.
And
but,
Lydia knows what her mom looks like. Yeah.
I mean, she could still be just walking freely amongst them.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that, like, if the scene with Gamma, if Alpha was really there, because it was so similar to the scene where Sadiq is seeing her from trauma, until Alpha actually started whipping Gamma, I almost thought maybe Alpha wasn't there. because Gamma's running the risk of having her mask off and she gets almost attacked by a walker.
Yeah.
Like, why would Alpha risk the same thing? Where's Beto? Is this a meetup spot? You know, for just a split second, I thought maybe it wasn't so sure. But I mean, Daryl, Carol, Gabe, they've all seen Alpha. They would know if she was walking around.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
They wouldn't matter at the thing.
Yeah.
Duh. Okay. Yeah.
Nobody
misspoke.
would miss the bald-headed woman walking
true.
around with dirt all over her face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
And
whatever that stuff is.
This might just be nitpicking, but why did Gamma take her mask off when Alpha showed up? I thought you weren't supposed to do that.
Alpha told her to take her mask off. Are you talking about? Yeah.
Oh, I missed that. Okay. I was just curious.
Oh, yeah.
What else?
Let's see.
Trying to
Gabe and
find-
Daryl covering up the Whisperer death
Oh, yeah.
because they said it might be widespread panic if they find out.
it would because they
Yeah.
feel like it would trigger a war. Like, I mean, they're already in the midst of a war. They just don't.
Or even covering up for the Alexandrians because, our doctor just accidentally poisoned somebody and everybody's sick right
Oh,
now.
Alpha
Yeah.
doesn't care about that. It doesn't matter who killed him or whatever.
Yeah.
They're all in danger. But I like how Gabriel was like, well, in reality, it's not your mess to clean up, Daryl, so I'm not going to leave you here alone to clean it up.
Yeah.
I liked that because for so long we've seen Loner Daryl not have any connections or anything like that. But Gabe's just been whittling away at Daryl's psyche and his hard shell, and just goes to show like how much impact Gabe has.
Yeah, and I wish Gabe had even more impact because Carol is just like she is ripping apart the society that they built over there as far as like just doing her own thing and unilaterally bypassing the council and all that kind of stuff.
I wonder who that's similar to. I wonder
How Michonne used to do that.
Rick. You mean our leader and our trusted sheriff? I mean,
Rick
like
we trust.
there was never a council when Rick was there. He
yeah.
decided. That was it.
Yeah.
And so Carol is acting very Rick-like, but because it's impulse decisions, we don't like it.
Yep. Yep, that's true. So I mean, maybe that's story-wise just showing how far they've come as a society, you know. And even they dealt with that when Michonne was like, "Hey, you know what? I got to stop making,
Yeah, she knew how wrong it was.
Yeah.
She saw the impact that her choice made for a group of people that it affects her further than that.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, your personal views are tainted. You know, there's so much
Emotion
yeah, exactly.
involved.
You're too close to the situation, so it's like, I'm going to do this because it's good for my family, and not necessarily good for everyone.
Yeah.
Or it's just something that you want to happen.
Which is why their group never got very big, and now they're huge because they're thinking for the whole instead of just for themselves.
I also like how in this episode we didn't see the hilltop, we didn't see Oceanside, we didn't see anybody else because right now we're so just immersed in this group and the problems that it's having that it's easy to forget how big the world is. And I think it will be another slap in the face because they're going to introduce Commonwealth this season. I think that it's just undeniable at this point. I think that will just be like, oh crap, I forgot that it's not just Alexandria,
Yeah.
because in the beginning of the season we were seeing a tidbit of all of them, how they all intertwine to remember to catch us up, like who's all here, okay, this is going on. And now we've seen only Alexandria for almost 2 full episodes.
Yeah. And let me go ahead and read the next on The Walking Dead just because you mentioned that. Next episode is the mid-season finale already. And the description says, a fight causes tensions in Oceanside while the Alexandrians set out on a high-stakes mission. So just that it's starting to pull everybody else just back in, even though they didn't mention Hilltop.
Ooh,
Excuse me.
yeah.
Yeah, just to also mention, Squawking Dead said that there was an important scene with Gabe and Daryl. Also, it illustrated contrast to Carol, that we're all in this together. Yes, Lydia. Well, Carol is acting more like proto-Daryl, but far beyond what even he would have done. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Especially, you think about Daryl, even right after, wow, I just blanked on his name. Maggie's,
Quin?
thank you. Like, even right after that, I know, how could I? Daryl was so immersed in this guilt that, like, I caused this. This is what I've done. That he felt he deserved what he got from Negan.
Yeah.
And he felt like it was rightfully owed to him. But Carol doesn't seem to have any of that.
Yeah, she wasn't connected to that.
She hasn't ever felt guilty for look at the flowers or the prison or anything like that.
She did have. Remember when
It hit her all at once, though.
Okay,
It's
okay.
not each moment, each event.
she bottles it up,
Yeah.
and then it.
And so I think we're waiting for another situation like that to happen. I think that it's not going to be long, and they're gonna reveal something about that, I guess.
Planet Earth says Carol's actions towards the Whispers parallels Rick's actions towards Negan and the Saviors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I hear that.
Yeah.
For sure.
I
Yeah.
mean, you gotta. It's one of those things like when sometimes you gotta become your enemy to beat your enemy or fight fire with fire.
Yeah.
And that's what Carol's trying to do, but everybody else has been in this not necessarily utopia, but this era of peace where the only thing they have to worry about is killing a walker. That they forgot what they had to do when they wanted to get to this point.
Yeah, and I mean that goes back to Carol and Daryl wanting to run away. Like they don't really know how to operate in a society, you know. Like
Again.
yeah, exactly. Well, I mean even Carol like was different when society was a thing, you know, and Carol or Daryl too. And I don't know. I think maybe they're keeping the Ezekiel thyroid cancer thing in their back pocket, and that'll be the moment when Carol snaps and just like, oh, this is not okay, and everything just comes gushing out.
I don't know if they'll do that or if they'll use that moment to tip the balance more towards Crazy Carol.
Potentially.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Because
Oh no!
Because-
they could,
yeah, go ahead.
I would if I was them, but I'm not them. I would use Ezekiel to bring Carol back, but the way I would do it is Carol's about to. She's like, well, there's no other options. I'm finna go out here and just try to find Alpha and kill her. And Ezekiel's like, no, I'm not gonna let you go. Let me go. He shows her, he's like, I'm about to die anyway. And then she's like, no, we can find somebody. He's like, no, it's fine. They get in an argument. He just goes, boop, knocks her out, goes off.
you think Ezekiel
that's a
has the
different
cojones
Carol.
for that? Because I don't know if
different
Ezekiel
Ezekiel.
does.
When you're about to die, he
That's
was like,
true.
it's like, I'm
Blacksmith
boop.
Earl and Carol need to team up.
Ooh, that's a.
You could make her
savage-
some pretty amazing weapons.
It's a savage team.
Yeah, that's true. Because Earl ain't having it. He's ready to kick some
Dude,
butt.
Earl was in Nam. He knows how to fight Charlie in the trees for sure.
Squawking Dead said, I'm riveted. Either way Carol goes.
Yeah, because this is a huge issue here with, you know, where Carol is bypassing the rules and the statutes and the laws that society has set up, and she's not gonna just fold when Michonne or Maggie or whoever else shows up and says, hey, this is how it works, you can get in or get out. She's gonna be like, well, I'll hit the road again, and that could potentially go down the road where she takes Michonne's arc and gets back on the boat and just
Boop. Disappears.
Yeah, I don't like. Why is there a yellow thing up there? Is
error or
this
something.
error?
I'll check it. Go ahead.
Okay.
I think that I originally thought with Carol being out on the boat all the time that that's how they were going to introduce Commonwealth because of mass
She's out
travel
there.
or whatever. And surely they would be close to a port or something like that because you think about all
they
of
got a
the
port.
resources that come with that. But Commonwealth is landlocked.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it at?
In the comics, I believe it's on an island, but I have to make.
Oh, really?
I have to double check because
It's in
Michonne gets.
Ohio, isn't it?
Yeah, but Michonne gets there by a boat. It does have a port, but they
Gotcha.
might end up, you know, they're remixing everything else. So who knows?
That's true. We're so far away from the comics, and even where we are close to the comics, they're so mixed and jumbled that it's not all the same.
Dante, for example.
Boy, howdy.
Yeah. which is nice that they're able to tease like that and say,
Yeah.
oh well, this character, you're getting this character, psych.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
And then even with they've remixed it so much already because we got Dante. Ezekiel has smooth throat cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Rick's gone. Aaron is Rick. Daryl is Tyrese.
Yeah.
Kind of, but yeah.
Minus the hammer.
Negan is still Negan. He wasn't Negan for a minute, but now he's Negan again.
Yeah. Rick's not there.
Yep.
Carl's not there.
Carl's smooth not there. I don't know how this show's gonna end. We'll see.
Judith is there.
Planet Earth said, do y'all think that Jules is a whisperer or that the ocean side is getting whisperer horde sent by Alpha?
I don't know.
Jules
I mean,
is a whisperer.
that's the one that what's his face likes.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, we've seen. Okay,
can't I
they
remember?
did the
Luke.
tree.
Planet Earth
Luke-
said, I'm worried for Luke. I was
Yeah.
like, well, I couldn't think of his name, so I'm glad she said that.
So we've seen how Alpha is attacking Alexandria and how she is attacking Hilltop, but not how she's attacking Oceanside yet. And surely she's not going to just leave Oceanside out of it.
Maybe the reason that
Maybe the stream thing.
Maybe the reason that they found the mask is because it was someone who was also a spy. They just still had their mask. And it's like, oh snap, I lost it. Maybe that's a reach, but we know now because she's been attacking them all in similar ways. Each one has its own defining way. Like Hilltop no longer has part of their wall.
But Oceanside doesn't really have a wall.
They don't
That's
have
true.
a wall, but they're
I don't know
close
why
to
they
it.
would or wouldn't at this point.
Yeah, and so
Because they can't just be sleeping in their hut and then walkers just like
up.
walking the street.
Well, I think they have like the little things that chime or
Yeah.
like make noise when walkers walk
Right.
past
They
it,
have-
but it's not
and
like a wall.
Yeah, and there's even a like an entryway that says Oceanside, so maybe they do have like some kind of wall or something.
they got something, but whatever they have, there's gonna be something that's unique just to them. Like Alexandria, besides the horde of waves and people getting sick, you had a whole spy in there. There might be a whole spy in Hilltop.
It's very
but-
possible.
There
I mean, why
definitely
wouldn't
has
there
to be because Earl even said like that tree didn't come down on its own. What if somebody every night's going out there and just sawing a little bit away?
Just a little bit at a time.
And then
Just
all it
enough.
takes
Yeah.
is one good push,
Yep.
Yeah.
one good storm.
Yeah,
Leading-
and they're having their own issues with Magna and all them stealing stuff. So,
Yeah, Connie being like,
don't tell 'em.
who says I don't have one?
yeah,
Yeah.
that was kind of, I don't know.
Just
I felt that was dumb.
But I also
But people do
think
that. I mean, I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility for sure because
Yeah.
people do their own self-interest stuff, even though like okay to survive,
Especially
and to move
when
forward,
they're
we're gonna have to
saying-
band together, but they don't.
especially when they're making it sound like that's what happened at the last place, that like it was good that they did that, so
Yeah.
it's easy to rationalize what works in the past again, no matter who it hurts.
Too bad Daryl's dog can't find Dante's mask.
That's funny.
I really don't want to. Give me the creepies. But anything else?
Just I don't know. As far as what do you think is coming next episode? Something big's got to happen. Are we going back to the Whisperer camp with Negan? Possibly. I don't remember seeing that in the teaser, but they did a huge misdirect with this one, not mentioning
so
Sadiq or Dante, and then throwing the what was it that they threw in there? Beta.
Yeah.
Beta wasn't even in this episode. Maybe they filmed stuff and they just didn't put it in.
And
But
put in a whole bunch of delete scenes.
yeah, surely they weren't editing right up until the episode aired with
Hopefully
this.
not.
Maybe they just got confused and put the wrong description on it.
So yeah, the reason I'm doing this. So in like the beginning, the intro, the there are the 4 heads on the pike. That's one down. It doesn't necessarily have to be 4 more heads on 4 actual pikes. It could just be
you
4
think
deaths.
these are people that are going to die this season?
And we got at least 3 more. And obviously they've never cared about who they killed before, but now they're like, yeah, we're just gonna start slaughtering.
It's going to have to be somebody at Oceanside, I feel like, because they haven't really talked about Oceanside very much. We haven't been there as much as we've been at the other places. And I
You mean next to die?
Yeah, somebody from Oceanside is going to be next to that because I think that's what's going to propel Michonne and Judith being there.
Yeah.
Something's got to happen.
Because that's where they're headed. Yeah, for sure.
So I think that they'll kill somebody at Oceanside. Probably Jules.
Or Luke, the way they gave him a send-off from Hilltop.
No, I don't think he's a defector. Squawking Dead asked, anyone of you think Dante is more of a defector than a spy?
I don't know. I think he was starting to. That's why he was like, Sadiq, you're my friend. You know, I think like that felt real.
Yeah.
I don't think originally he's a defector, though, because I think that this
No, I
proves
think he's a spy
that
for
he
sure.
was the one telling them when they crossed the border.
Yeah, and that's why I was confused by that whole thing, and just I don't know. I think he's somewhere in between now. Like he doesn't know where he fits. He's still
Well,
he's
he fits
still
in
doing
jail now.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's still doing the will of Alpha, and you know, I mean, he went through with killing Sadiq for sure, but in that moment, there was a moment of weakness where he was just like, anybody but you. You're my friend. You know.
Yeah.
I'll kill anybody but somebody I've spent a relative amount of time with.
Yeah. I mean, he's a soldier. I mean, he
Yeah.
already established that. So
Do we
he's-
know that that's true?
that's true?
I mean, I feel
don't
like
know.
Dante is
that's a good
being
point.
made to be an unreliable narrator because we
Oh, very
really
much
don't
so.
know what
Yeah.
he is capable of.
That's true.
Personality disorders, I swear.
I mean, what if he's not even a doctor and he's just been giving people these fake?
I don't know. I mean,
Herbs.
surely he's got to have some kind of skill. Otherwise,
Yeah, I mean, he
Sadiq would have
stitched up
spotted
Carol.
it. Yeah.
So I mean, he's obviously a doctor in some way.
And like, okay, so how long have the Whispers been going on? How long has he been part of the Whispers? I mean, do you forget that type of thing, or he just said, "Hey, I'm rusty," or I don't know. I'm just curious.
I think it's like the same type of thing with Gamma, and I feel like that's part of the reason why they're, showing it. It's not the first time Alpha's sent spies into these communities to keep an eye on them. She has them go out there. When they come back to meet her, she just kind of gives them sort of small little tests to make sure that they're still loyal to her cause.
Yeah.
And everything.
Oh yeah, that's the hallmark of a manipulator. Like you still got to push that to make sure that you've got your foot on their neck.
Because, I mean, they've made a point that every time that Lydia talks about the Whispers, or in some way, shape, or form in the past few episodes, that she's been there. She talks about, her mother's way of thinking versus how things are for the Alexandrians and everything, and that this way of life she doesn't think will work, and she's trying to make it not work. But, prove
Yeah,
her
just
wrong.
their existence flies in the face of Alpha being able to continue having control over her group.
Yeah.
I think
There's a lot we don't know, Squawking Dead.
Yeah. And Squawking Dead also agreed with the Dante thing that he came in doing one thing but fell in love with Alexandria. Yeah.
Or Sadiq.
Which, I mean, in that she was like, is he gonna make a move on him? Like, I
Well,
didn't,
when he was like slowly walking up, I was like, it's one of those scenes where they just go around and they hug him from behind, and I was like, that would feel weirdly okay. I don't like it, but it's whatever.
I felt like it was just an honest scene where he's just like, hey, I need you to know that it was me, but I don't think it was in a Game
Here,
of
let me just
Thrones
click
way.
in your ear.
Yeah.
Great, now you know. Now I gotta kill you.
Yeah, and maybe he's in jail now
Weird.
because he turned himself in and just like, look, I can't do this anymore. Potentially.
Then why would he save himself killing Sadiq?
That's true.
He did. If he was gonna do that, he wouldn't have had to kill Sadiq.
Yeah, there's
But
so
maybe-
there's so many different things with the Dante Sadiq thing right now. Like why he didn't try to go in deeper and blow his cover with I don't know. There's weird things. Oh, ha. You're funny.
But maybe him killing Sadiq is what made him go over the edge. Like,
Maybe.
I haven't had an actual friend in so long, and then
Yeah.
I killed him because of this woman, and she's trying to destroy this community full of all these people, and I'm helping, and this is wrong, and I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, and I killed. Yeah, I don't know because I mean he went through the effort to kill Sadiq to cover his tracks, to kill the other Whisperer to cover his tracks, and now he's in jail. So yeah, there's got to be there's something that happens after the fact that we'll find out next episode of obviously.
Plant Earth said, I didn't understand the whisper saying you wouldn't know the truth if it's staring you in the face, and asked what we think about that.
I'm sorry. I was reading Dante as, yes, I would accept that hug.
I mean, I don't think any of us could fight him off, but whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm
All right,
guessing the truth staring you in the face is just I'm kind of referring to there being spies.
That and like you can't handle that this society isn't long term.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that was it. Just that that society that we're in the apocalypse and you're still fighting the nature of the world. Just let it. Just embrace it.
Squawking Dead replied to Plant and said, "I think he's rattling off the cult line of our way is the only way to survive. You are living a lie."
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Just like Dante, just let it happen.
Yeah, I felt like that scene with the prisoner was kind of predictable because even like 45 seconds before he spit the food out, I was like, he's going to spit it on her. And then boom, he spit it on her. But it was good predictable.
Yeah. I felt that was well played. And Carol, like, she tried.
Oh, but what makes me so mad is like, I don't know if they can do it based on ratings or things like that, but when he said I would take you like in heat, I wish Carol would have gripped him by the nuts and just was like, "I'd take you, mother effort."
Yeah.
That would be some
I think that's
scary
why-
ass Carol stuff.
I think that's why everybody sat there and let her put that ring on and just go to town on him. And Daryl was like, okay.
But it would have just been so much better if Carol would have just been like, "I'm not gonna lose my cool, but you know what?"
I'm surprised she didn't just slit his throat right then, outside of wanting answers.
And outside of the fact that later
there-
on he
yeah.
had to be killed by Dante to creep in and cause the distrust
Man.
and stuff. But
Yeah, that could have been really just like a moment to get everybody on Carol's side.
yeah.
Yeah.
But in The Talking Dead, weren't there pictures of Michael Cutlet's like throwing the food
throwing
at
the
Carol?
food. He didn't actually spit it at her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been fun to do.
He said soggy food, so it wasn't like actually chewed up and
Yeah.
processed food, which makes me feel a little bit better for Melissa McBride.
Yeah.
That's fun. All right.
So, you guys
Anything
got
else we didn't
anything
cover?
else?
Oh.
Cheryl She Shed.
Poor Cheryl.
Poor Cheryl. Wasn't struck by lightning, Cheryl.
That was the commercial for
Yeah.
what, Progressive or Geico or something.
Let's see. Oh, just the whole Enid factor with Sadiq. Yeah. Well played with that. That
And
was
I
so
think
good.
that they brought Enid back up again to show that Enid and Sadiq were the last ones to like truly, truly believe in Carl's vision for the future and holding that together, and now it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
It just like reminded me more of like everything that's going on. It's so
Dang.
sad. Enid's dead.
It's dead. Sadiq's dead.
So-
Carl's
Dale's dead.
Rick's in space.
Judith's
And
a
Eugene's on the
badass.
phone.
Well,
Judith is a grown man.
Yeah.
grown man Judith.
Yeah, by the way, go check out our new shirt, Grown Man Judith, at the
On a
store.
shirt now.
Yay.
Yeah.
Wait till we finish the episode. Come on, guys.
Yeah. That's streamlabs.com/brokenpictures/store
Probably.
or merch, maybe merch. I think it's merch.
Mick.
All right.
So I think that's it. Just even though we found some holes potentially that probably will be filled later, it's still a really good, really strong episode. Really good episode.
Yeah.
Planet Earth said, "Poor DJ." That was the other person that we saw get his head chopped
Yeah.
off.
Oh man, that was hard to watch. Like
It really
they cut
was.
it right at that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait for next episode. Looks like
Mid-season
Alpha could potentially lose her head this next episode, and then we get into the Whisper War. Probably some kind of remix, unless they're going to hit the high points like they did with Glenn death and stuff like that.
Planet Earth said, "I'm glad they didn't show everyone's death." I completely agree. I really don't know if I
Yeah.
could have handled it.
Yeah.
It would have been a little too much for
Yeah.
me.
And shout out to, he did mention Tara too.
Yeah. Yep.
Whew.
Poor old Tara had to die right after Jesus.
Yeah. I honestly thought,
Or
up
before.
until this episode, honestly thought that we would see Maggie next episode, but I don't think we will now. There's too much going on.
I think that if they did, it would just be a jumble. I mean, you think they've barely got an hour to even pack in what they've got. I think the episode
Yeah.
ends up being, like 45 minutes long after commercials and all that kind of stuff. It just is so compact. You've already got 4 communities. There's just so much going on. It would be hard to throw Maggie in there right now.
Yeah. You're right. As
Squawking
usual.
Dead said, "Settle this for me, fellas. I take offense. Everyone says such and such deserved better. Does anyone in the zombie apocalypse deserve anything?"
I mean, I think on the surface, I mean, you just got to be glad that you woke up and you didn't get eaten in the middle of the night. But as we're connected to these characters, we feel like that, you know, this was a good character, or they were a fighter, or they, you know, they fought all this way, and now to be taken out in this not silly way, but in this simple way, like Carl getting bit in an accidental type
Yeah.
thing. And, you know, I don't know. I feel like obviously those things happen, and as a fan, we don't like to see that happen, but it's not outside of the realm of possibility.
I think for me, I think everyone in the apocalypse deserves at least a shower every once in a while. Just because, like, whenever my phone comes back and gets me, I say thank you to my phone all the time every time Siri pops up. But I hope when they take over the planet that I'm at least granted a shower sometimes, because I can't imagine
AI.
not being clean at least every once in a while.
Yeah.
You know, a walker-free shower, I think everyone deserves that. Even Alpha, because I guarantee she's stanky right
Yeah.
now.
Another rabbit trail. The
You're
Whisperers
nasty.
wearing this stuff, and they don't have bad skin.
Right,
Especially
like
Alpha,
no
all that.
lesions, no rubs, like nothing.
Yeah.
Like she definitely
That's
beta
gross.
waxes her head from time to time. There's no way that he doesn't.
Okay.
Like wax on, wax off. Like there's no way.
I
Yeah.
think everyone in the apocalypse deserves quick death.
Ooh, that's a good pick.
Yeah.
Good pick. Except for Alpha.
Except for Alpha.
And who else? What was his Jarrett,
Jarrett?
the long-haired guy.
Jared.
Jared.
Oh, that guy.
He definitely didn't
He
deserve.
deserved
a
everything he
slow
got.
death. Yeah, deserved every bit of it.
Piece by piece.
Yep.
Maybe the governor? Maybe.
Yeah, all the big bads.
Yeah.
Except Negan.
Dale
For sure.
deserved a quick death, and he didn't get it.
Poor Dale.
Well, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Well, not that long ago. If Chris Hardwick can dress up as Dale for Halloween.
Yeah.
I was in high school.
Yeah, we're 10 years in, man.
Excuse me?
This is crazy.
The fact that I was like trying to add that up because we're not that far apart in age, but I remembered that I was rewatching it with him, so like I wasn't a Walking Dead fan until we got together. So I was in high school too. I just didn't know about it.
I didn't get into season 2. Some friends well, I was in college at the time were telling me about it. I was like, I gotta watch this show. But yeah, Planet Earth says, I also feel like Alpha was definitely the sole executioner, and she wanted Sadiq to suffer.
Yeah,
I feel the same way.
absolutely.
Yeah, like
She knew full well what she was doing.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that, yeah, it just
Yeah.
really proved a good point. I
It's
guess
like
it just
she-
made it like kind of tied a bow on the manipulation and the long game that Alpha is playing.
yeah, and also just like a rallying for her troops. Like they just relished in
And
killing
the
them.
fact that she like retaliated finally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
sure.
and just like that was an example. She used that as an example to show her people this is what happens.
Well, they always let a messenger live to go back and tell the story of what happened. But I think the long game that she was playing and letting it be Sadiq. It wasn't Enid. It wasn't DJ. It was Sadiq for the reason that she knew Dante was gonna be there, and she had Dante planted as the doctor to make the connection. Because she
wonder
knew
if-
that whoever that haunts people.
Oh yeah, I wonder if, and that's so dark. But I wonder if Dante had already infiltrated at that point, and he already knew Sadiq and was getting in good with him, and he was like, "Let me be the one to hold him."
hopefully
That's dark.
next episode.
Surely not.
I mean, hopefully, he'll be in jail next episode. I know we only saw a little bit, but maybe it'll go into a little bit of oh hey, yeah, I've been a spy for this long,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
yeah.
there's definitely going to be some questions answered with him being in prison. I mean, they're a captive audience, literally.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cut off a finger, Daryl.
Do it.
I really thought he was going
I was
to.
hoping.
I had my eyes covered in everything.
I was having flashbacks to Lost.
La, 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 la,
Yeah.
la, la. I
I
haven't
was like,
seen Lost.
yeah.
All right.
Okay, though.
Was that character's name Sadiq? What was his name? I can't remember his name.
Surely
Can't
not.
remember his name. If his name was also Sadiq, we need to talk.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, there's more Muslim people besides Sadiq.
All right.
Dante was 50% responsible. He had to be the one to lure everyone. Bum, bum, bum.
All right.
We've had a great time. Thank you guys for joining us, especially in the chat. It's really fun to bounce those thoughts and ideas off of you guys. Hope that you'll join us next week if you're watching later. Next week, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time here on YouTube for The Broken Dead. Please like, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon.
Ding.
And so that you know when we drop a new video. Podcast listeners, please leave us 5 stars in your podcast app. And apologize if you're looking for the podcast, it's not there. Still having issues. Looking to get those fixed. So, and don't forget to check out the website at www.broken.picturesno.com and support the channel. Check out the merch.
Oh, real quick. Squawking Dead also said Nabila is also Muslim. So
True. Yep, that's true.
there's that.
Yep.
Is Jerry? Oh, I don't know.
Oh,
Not that you
no.
have to be.
You don't. Huh.
Anyway, so this is Dylan,
And I'm Lydia.
This is Quin.
and we'll see you next time. Thanks. Peace.
Bye.